This is No Filter Media. If it's real, you will hear it here.
Human being a corruption.
Opposition spokesman on telecommunications Philip Paulwell has called for full disclosure of all approvals, costs and processes related to the acquisition of Starlink devices for the Hurricane Melisa response efforts. This in the wake of a report from the Auditor General which flagged actions by Telecommunications Minister Darrell Voss as a breach of procurement laws in the acquisition of the devices. In a statement today, Mr. Paulwell said the matter underscores growing questions about transparency, accountability and the management of public resources. Citing claims by Mr. Voss about the donation of 700 Starlink devices, Mr. Paulwell questioned the reason for purchasing 200 devices. The spokesman stressed that access to telecommunications is critical for disaster response, education, commerce and national resilience. He noted that these services are so essential, decisions surrounding them must be unimpeachable and fully compliant with the law. Mr. Paulwell added that Jamaicans at home and abroad deserve confidence that public resources are managed with integrity, particularly during periods of national recovery. The government's new platform for Hurricane Melisa monetary donations, Support Jamaica, has been flagged by the Auditor General for having some weaknesses in its information security framework, among other things. The issues were highlighted in a report tabled in Parliament yesterday. The website serves as a single point for the collection and management of financial and in-kind donations, volunteer registration and coordination, emergency reporting, and engagement with local and international stakeholders. The AG said the audit of Hurricane Melisa relief was undertaken to determine whether activities were executed with due regard to transparency and accountability. The report focused on the Hurricane Melisa relief website, supportjamaica.gov.jm, with particular emphasis on the adequacy of access management and data privacy controls. The AG said a review identified significant weaknesses in the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, ODPEM's, Information Security Governance Framework, which impacted the access controls over the Support Jamaica website. It was found that ODPEM did not have formally approved information security or access control policies and procedures to govern the assignment, management and monitoring of user rights across its information systems. In the absence of an established access policy, ODPEM operated without an enforceable standard for the provisioning, modification and deprovisioning of user accounts on the Support Jamaica administrative dashboard. Consequently, ODPEM was exposed to an elevated risk of inappropriate or unauthorized access, inconsistent security practices, and weakened overall control of its information systems. The AG has recommended that in order to strengthen governance, accountability, and statutory compliance, ODPEM must complete registration as a data controller with the Office of the Information Commissioner and formally appoint a data protection officer, as required by the Data Protection Act. One of two government employees detained at Sangster International Airport in Montego Bay last month following the seizure of 20.5 pounds of cocaine has been released on bail. Trayvon Clayton, an employee of the St. and Municipal Corporation, was granted $1 million bail with up to 3 sureties when he appeared before the St. James Parish Court on Wednesday. His co-accused, Latoya Hemmings of the Trelawney Municipal Corporation, remains before the court after her $750,000 bail was extended to March 4, when the matter is scheduled to resume. In St. James, the 2 men whose bullet-riddled bodies were discovered in an abandoned building in the Norwood Zone of Special Operations, ZOSO, on Tuesday, have been identified. The deceased, both residents of St. James, are 24-year-old Linval Watson, otherwise called Brian, and Beanie of King Gate, Anchovy, and 23-year-old O'Neill Daniel Gray, otherwise called CC of Flagstaff, Maroon Town. The St. James police are investigating. Following the double murder, a 48-hour curfew was imposed in the community at 6 p.m. on Tuesday. The Norwood ZOSO had recorded no murders or shootings in 2025, and similarly, no murders were reported in the community in 2024. The Education Ministry has directed school administrators to allow students to wear warm clothing, including jackets that are not branded for the school. This comes in the wake of public outcry following reports that administrators of a primary school in St. Catherine confiscated the jackets of children because they were not in accordance with uniform regulations. The children wore the jackets to combat the cold weather brought on by the cold front currently affecting the island. Upset parents and advocacy groups condemned the action of the administrators and called on the ministry to intervene. In a bulletin issued yesterday, the ministry noted that, amid the cold front, which brings cooler temperatures and strong gusty winds, school administrators are being reminded of the importance of keeping students comfortable and safe during this unprecedented period of lower temperatures. As such, administrators should adhere to some guidelines. Students should be allowed to wear comfortable jackets to school. This helps them stay warm throughout the day. It is important that all students feel comfortable, especially as the weather can affect their concentration and overall well-being. Some students may or may not have access to school-branded jackets. Therefore, dress codes for jackets should be relaxed to allow these students to wear any appropriate and warm outerwear. This includes jackets that are not part of the standard school uniform, but are suitable for cold weather. Some students may have existing health conditions that the colder weather could worsen. Administrators must be observant and attentive to these students, ensuring they have what they need to remain warm and comfortable.